Welcome into the CHGO Bears podcast. This is the pregame show, preseason game number 2.
Happy football.
Go time.
It is Caleb Day, Herb Howard in studio. Gregory P. Allen Braggs is here. Hogue is at a wedding, so he'll be back next week.
Hogue is watching the football game.
Hogue is
like, who's getting married?
Yeah, right. Hogue's going
he was doing
full.
some reconnaissance work yesterday.
Yeah, no, he's right. He was at Green Bay checking out Lambeau Field, the whole thing. Big day for Hogue. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hey, Greg Braggs, I got a question for you to start the show. When's the last time Caleb Williams played a football game?
That would be 266 days since Caleb Williams threw a pass with live bullets. November 18th, as they fell 38-20 to UCLA, Caleb Williams throws for 384 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
So I walked in the office this morning, and that was the question Braggs gave me. Like, you realize the last time Caleb's thrown a football, and I'm like, when was it? And
normally that's
I
the Mark nugget that he comes in but I came with the nuggets.
I got a lot of nuggets that we're gonna
216 days since Rome Odunze last ran a route in a live rep.
Herb, that's a big deal, right? Get back on the field. This is Caleb Day.
It's absolutely huge, man. We've all been looking forward to it since December. Like, we've been looking forward to it for a while, and now it's finally here. We're going to see what it looks like for him to get under center, take the snaps, go through the operation, see what it looks like, man. He's going to get his first chance to kind of get those butterflies out. I don't care how good you are or what level you're playing at. You get those butterflies coming through the tunnel, and I'm sure he'll have them today.
Yeah, he's going to be geeked up. We're going to do what matters most coming up in a second here. We got our over-unders on some key categories today. Nicholas Moreano coming at us from Buffalo. And, Justin Fields played last night. We'll hit on that and hear from Mike Tomlin before we get out of here. And, of course, we're here for post-game at 3, call it roughly, right after the game. So stay with CHGO Bears all day long for your football coverage. You know you love it. You know this is the best. You know we love you. All right. What matters most? Herb, for you, football coach extraordinaire, king of the press room, deep dive football questions. I'm giving you that love because you do it to levels that I don't see being done. No disrespect to anybody in there.
You are far too kind. But I think what matters most to me is the defense, the pass rush specifically, right? I think that this defense has a chance to be really, really special, but it's going to be contingent upon their ability to consistently rush the passer. We know what Montez Sweat is. What are we going to get from these other guys? What's DeMarcus Walker going to look like? He says, he was like 75, 80% last year. He's close to 100% this year. What does that look like? What does Javon Dexter look like? Everybody's been saying all offseason, that's the biggest question on this defense. Can he be a dominant difference-making 3 technique or just a guy in there? If he's just a guy, there'll probably be a good defense either way. If he's a dominant difference maker, this could be a great defense.
And they're not going to scheme, but rushing the passer is rushing the
passer.
Let's
go. One-on-one. Let's go.
Yeah.
If they leave you one-on-one on the inside, can you kick that guard's or that center's ass and create some pressure up the middle? That's what quarterbacks can't stand the most. Get in Josh Allen's face those first 2 drives or whatever he's going to be in there. I want to see Javon Dexter making a difference.
Well, and that's my thing. It's like I've had questions here at camp like, okay, the pass rush is creating havoc.
Yeah.
But is that because the offensive line isn't doing well? And it's good to finally get to see them go up against somebody else, see if Javon Dexter's getting that same pressure that we've been seeing in camp, but this time against somebody else. Because, I mean, to your point the other day, Mark, like as much as we want to talk up this defense and their potential, half of them haven't been practicing the last few days. Montez Sweat hasn't been out there, and they're still getting pressure. So what does that say about the offensive line to this point?
That's what I was going to say. You can flip it around. You can kind of say, okay, let's see the offensive line against a different group, because it's one thing to go against Montez Sweat, but like you said, he hasn't even been out there, Javon Dexter or whomever. But Darnell Wright hasn't had an exceptional camp to this point. He's struggled a little bit. I want to see what he looks like. I mean, you're talking about a top 10 pick. We expect that guy to be a stalwart at right tackle for 10 years, right? So, want to see him kind of take that next step in his second year. So I'm excited to see him go against different guys and see, what translates from camp to real games.
Yeah, more on the O-line in a second here. But
Sort of
Gregory,
real games.
you ready for your what matters most over there?
I am. You bet your sweet bippy I'm ready.
Let it fly, buddy.
To me, it's obvious. I could talk about Caleb's reps. We're going to talk about that, I'm sure, during this preseason or this pregame show. But it is no false starts. We're just talking about the offensive line and the struggles they've had at camp. At the end of the day, this is their first test run here with live bullets for the starters. And so this is your opportunity to have a clean operation. I'm sure they're not going to be opening up the playbook and going through 4 read progressions and dialing up some of their best plays that they got. What they need to do is have a clean operation, and specifically pre-snap penalties. Mm-hmm. No delay games, no false starts. And we've seen way too many false starts, specifically at training camp. They did a good job of it on Thursday, but the starters didn't play. So now today is your chance to show that you're learning from your mistakes that you're allowed to have at camp and execute properly during the game.
Yeah, and I'm doubling down on that on my matters most. And the false starts is a part of this. But for me, it's the center connection. Is it smooth with Coleman Shelton? Do you see that bond starting? And just building off of that, is Ryan Bates looking good at right guard? Because we learned late last week that Nate Davis is now week to week. He felt something. He's got soft
tissues.
Did
we learn that last week, or did we learn that last year?
We might have.
He's been week to week since he's got here.
Yeah, right. So that whole scene has been rough from day one. But so does this offensive line start to solidify in the interior with obviously Tevin at left guard, Shelton at center, and Ryan Bates at right guard, and Caleb, has for however long he's out there, and I would assume that they'll rep out the twos at the same time. That he actually has time to throw the 4 passes or the 4 dropbacks that he's going to have.
Just want to see them be clean, man. I want to see them get the play call, get in and out of the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage. Don't be up against the play clock every single snap, because you watch it in practice, and sometimes a lot of times they're often right up against the play clock. It's 3, 2, 1. And they're back there clapping and trying to get the snap off. Let's have a clean operation. Let's get in and out of the huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage. Let's not be moving guys across the formation at the last second because somebody lined up on the opposite end of where they're supposed to be. Let's just look clean, and everything else will kind of take care of itself. But let's be clean.
But that's why, for me, and whatever, I've let it go. They didn't play last week. You saw the conditions of the field. Definitely seemed like that was a smart decision. You saw the way Theo Benedict got rolled up on, from the field, making him slip out, and then he's out. But at the same time, playing one series last week, Bajan and the guys that did get first-team reps last week, they didn't get hurt. And the operation of it, they could have been ahead of the game. But now today is your chance to set that foundation. It is important. It's not just about, no false starts, no delay games. It's about getting that call in from the sidelines, relaying it to your guys, identifying the mic. It's even beyond that. It's about walking into the stadium that you're with a starter's mentality, how you do your pregame warm-up, how you all the little intricacies that get you prepared for that moment when it's time to take your first snap. This is your chance now. You didn't do it last Thursday. You had an opportunity to get ahead of the game a little bit, and then today could have been taking another step. But that's why these next 3 games starting today are vital to get as many snaps as you possibly can. So I'm definitely going to be keyed in on how many reps they get. You saw C.J. Stroud play a couple series yesterday, threw a touchdown to Tank Dell. It sounds like Josh Allen, who's a guy that's got a decorated resume in this league. He's playing a whole quarter today. So you gotta be at the same level as some of these other guys that we want to be like here in this league.
What's always been important to me, as getting back into football season, was just the first hit. Just getting that first hit. You talk about it's been 260 some odd days since he's been on the field. You just getting that first hit. Sometimes it actually feels good. It's like, okay, cool. All right, we back into the flow of this thing, right? And that's a lot of guys who haven't really gotten that first hit. Even at practice when pads are on, it's not like we're going full live, taking guys to the ground. Just getting that first hit is going to feel good for these guys, especially Caleb.
Well, right, and the first hit thing, too, and we'll jump onto big days for certain guys out there, including Velus Jones, who's going to get his first hit.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Right, like let's see what that looks like for him, getting a snap in the backfield, getting cracked, get back up, maybe go back-to-back with Velus. Let's go back-to-back and see what it actually feels like. You're in the running back room. We might as well see if you can handle like back-to-back touches here, get cracked, get back up, do it again.
And Steven,
I'm all for it.
Steven knows. I mean, we haven't been in studio for like a month, right?
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's like shaking off the rust when you get in.
Yeah.
When I'm producing shows, when I haven't done it in like a month and a half, I have to call like Steven 7 times to get me through a show because I'm having a complete meltdown because I don't have my reps in me. So it's not just football. It's with everything in life. If I don't eat Taco Bell, get a little quick plug here, Taco. If I don't eat enough, then it's like, knocking off the cobwebs. What am I comfortable with? What does the menu look like? What am I going to order? How many cheesy gordita crunches? Am I going to get extra sauce on the chicken quesadilla?
I mean, I love you trying to do some deep analysis here and put you on the Caleb level and put you on the Bears level, but we got to stop it because this is a very big day. It is Caleb Day. And I know it's not week 1, but it is the first time we get to see him on the field. I want to throw you guys out a hypothetical, because I think we would all agree. Braggs, you've been out there a ton. Herbie, we've all been to training camp here.
Is this a karmathetical?
It's a little bit of a karmathetical. We could pop that in there.
Well, someone deleted the file. Otherwise,
no, that's the way that goes. We'll bring it back.
See, we're knocking off the rust.
You're getting ahead of the game. Okay, so let me ask you if you would take this for Caleb in his rookie season. I'm going to have him throwing the ball 33 times a game. I'm going to have him completing 20 of them. I'm going to have him throwing 22 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He's going to run for 6 of them too, so 28 total. He's going to throw for 4,042 yards, and the Bears are going to finish the year either 6-11 or 7-10, miss the playoffs. Would you take that?
4,000 yards, how many touchdowns, how many picks?
22 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I am giving you, obviously, a player in his rookie season.
You had me at the 4,000 yards, but the touchdown interception ratio is tight. It's tight.
Which is what it's looked like at training camp so far, by the way.
Completion percentage wasn't great.
So did I say the completion percentage?
Yeah, you said he was
33. Right, 50, roughly 60%.
Yeah, it's not
high
great.
50s.
It's not great.
Would you take it?
Yeah, I'd take that for Caleb in his first year. I would not take that from Flus. The 6-11, 7-10 doesn't work for Flus. For Caleb, it's just fine. I'm not tripping. Like, obviously, we talked about Hard Knocks and Peyton Manning throwing 28 picks in his rookie year. Now, Caleb is walking into a different situation with a lot of different weapons around him. That's not what you want. The yards sound great. Completion percentage is a little bit low, and the touchdown interception ratio is definitely not what you want. But I'd take it. I mean, I wouldn't – nothing to write home about, but I'd take it.
You wouldn't take this guy's career.
4,000 yards. He's breaking the all-time record for passing yards in a season for the Chicago Bears. I'm pretty sure while the touchdown-interception ratio isn't great, that every Bears fan would be running to take that.
So
because that means brighter days are ahead.
But we say, like, we've been talking about this forever, right? We're waiting for our 4,000-yard season to come. It's never happened. Here is the example where it happens, and we win 6 games. It's like, let's just go back to running the ball.
And it also goes to show you, to your point, 4,000 yards for us feels like this mountain will never climb, but for the rest of the league, it's not like that hard to attain.
And in the reality of these numbers, if Caleb did those numbers, this would not translate to 6 wins. This was the 6-10 Tampa Bay Bucks in 2015 with Jameis Winston at quarterback. The reason why I brought it up is because he was allowed to throw the football. Mm-hmm. He was allowed to play. Mm-hmm. And I don't personally think the Bears are going to really let Caleb loose. If you go back and look at it, just some synergy between the two. Week 1, the Bucks actually played Tennessee at home. Obviously, massively different Titans team.
There we go.
But just the name is the same. He was 16 for 33 in Week 1. They lost. He threw 2 touchdown passes. He threw 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. They lost 42-14. If that happened, which, by the way, is unlikely, but is like remotely, that's on the table. Anything's on the table at this point. Bears fans would absolutely freak. But by week 10 of that year, they win on the road at Philly, 45-17. He threw 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 246 yards, 19 for 29. They improved to 5-5. If that happened, if the Bears started like shit, and then by week 10, they were 5-5, and he's throwing 5 touchdown passes, this city would be upside down.
Yeah, but that's better management of your rookie quarterback. You send him out there week 1, and he throws 30-something passes.
33, yeah.
Right? Y'all score 14 points.
Yeah.
Right? He throws 2 interceptions.
I mean, you're getting
He takes
killed.
4 sacks.
Yeah.
Who knows how many pressures and hits. Then he comes back later. You say week 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean,
then you're talking about just throwing 29 passes. He's able to connect on 19 of those for 5 touchdowns. He's not taking the hits. He's not turning the ball over. It's more efficient. It's better management of your quarterback. You can get those statistics by being a better manager of what he's doing.
And that year, for the record, just to give you one thing, he had 2 games over 300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 games under 200.
Mm.
So he only had, and so that's 12 games, 200 plus, and he right smack dab in the middle. He averaged 253. My point is, like, let's be open on what a positive year for Caleb and the Bears looks like, and have the future in mind. All right.
Yes, Dad.
Thank you. All right, over-unders are coming up next. Get yourself to your game or your concert or anything where you need tickets with Game Time tickets. Look, killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, lowest price guarantee. Game Time taking the guesswork out of buying tickets, buying MLB tickets. You want to go to Cubs, Sox tonight on the South Side. That was crazy last night. Congratulations to Cody Del Mendo. I thought he was going to leave us for good if the Cubs had lost that game, but he's still here, so congratulations. Listen, they got last-minute deals that save you up to 60% for sports, for concerts, for comedy, for theater. Flash deals, which you can know exactly, they'll give you some premium seat for 10% off, which is sweet. Zone deals, which is my personal favorite. Hey, we'll put you in one of these 3 sections, and we're going to discount the price. You're not going to know exactly your seat. So many benefits for using Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account. Redeem code is CHGO. You get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
That's right. And I want to give a quick shout out to our guys over at Miller Lite.
Hey, let's go.
What was your Miller Lite call when you were vending beers at Wrigley Field?
Well, first of all, Miller Lite is on the South Side. You should know that.
Well,
That's an
just
embarrassing comment by you.
Pretend.
Start the night off right. No better way than with a Miller Lite. Let's go.
There it is. There it is. That's a pro right there. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about the original light beer? Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975, and we still haven't settled it yet. Great taste or less filling? That's the question of the day. So many different memories we've all had with great tasting Miller Lite, and undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories, a light beer that tastes like beer, less filling and only 96 calories, as I said, and you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling, tastes like Miller Lite time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces, fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Make sure you come out to our tailgates. You can have plenty of Miller Lite there.
See the great Nicholas Moreano in the chat. He said he had a Miller Lite last night. I'm missing being out on the road with Nick. We usually, when we can, we'll hit a restaurant, especially if they got good wings. He's in Buffalo. There's no better hot wings there. He went to Duffy's last night, and I wish I was there.
That's the place. Quick sidebar here. I tried out for a radio gig in Buffalo. That was going to pay me $200 a week, of which I would have taken it at the time, and I was not in college, and I went to Duffy's, didn't get the gig, ended up in Kansas City. It all worked out.
There you go.
But Duffy's was a sweet look. And yes, Nick drinking the Miller Lite, and he'll be on in 10 minutes here with pregame from Buffalo. Let's do some over-unders here. All right. And I don't know how we're going to pay this off, but we'll do something for postgame. Snaps for Caleb. How many is he going to get? Go ahead, Herbie.
Hear the air and water show going above us.
Yes.
No, it was dope. They was out there practicing yesterday. The Blue Angels they never get old.
They were at training camp too.
They did.
Yeah. I think I'm the only person on the planet that does not like the Aaron Waters show.
Really?
It's just so. I mean, like we're trying to do a show right now. We got to have these dudes flying above us. They're the most talented guys of all time. I'm just like, I'm like.
You are a thief of joy.
I am a thief
you.
of joy.
I was out on the water on the boat yesterday while they were practicing, and they were just, and the way they break the sound barrier, like you hear them and you look up, like where are they at, and they passed 30 seconds ago because they're faster than the speed of sound.
I mean, they're incredible. I mean, I'd love to do what they do.
Would you? I think you'd throw up and pass out.
Oh my God, I would. But like, if I could be that cool, I would. What's bearing the lead though? Herb chilling on the boat yesterday.
Oh no, it was one of those cruise things. I mean,
Oh, whatever.
it was a good time.
Close enough. All right, how many snaps? What's your guess?
Snaps for Caleb. This is always hard to do because it really depends on the drives, right?
How many do you think he gets? How many do you want him to get? Let's do it like that.
I say he'll get 19 snaps.
19.
Wow.
19 snaps for Caleb. I say they'll have a drive of like 7, maybe another drive of like 5 or so, and then maybe not 19, maybe like 15. Maybe
7,
like
5, and a 4.
a 7-5, and then like a 3 and out or something like that. So I say he'll get like 3 drives. But yeah, I'll stick to my number 19. He gets 19 snaps. Let's go.
How
Put a drive together.
I mean, that's the question, right? Because how many snaps did C.J. Stroud get yesterday, right? I mean, he had the touchdown pass.
Stroud was 2 for 4.
Yeah, 10 snaps.
Yeah, roughly 10. I don't know specifically. Jacoby Brissett and Drake May, who are competing for the job in New England. By the way, remember those days, Bears fans, when you had a rookie quarterback and they were competing with a vet that wasn't going to be a starting quarterback in the league for very long. Brissett was 0 for 3. May was 2 for 3. And if you go over to Carolina, Bryce Young's not playing yet. So just to give you a little taste of what's going on around the league.
And it was pouring in the Patriots-Panthers game. It was raining pretty hard, and they're starting both their quarterbacks, Brissett and Drake May, got reps. So to your point, though, Bryce Young didn't. So I don't know. I mean, to me, seeing what C.J. Stroud, 2 series, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15. What I would do is play a full, healthy quarter, and that's also provided that you get more than one series. Sometimes quarters can go pretty quickly.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you got Josh Allen on the other side of that football field. You cannot have less snaps than Josh Allen. And I'm just setting now, everybody that's watching this right now, I'm just setting you up. If we get to the post-game show and he has less snaps than Josh Allen, I'm going to say something about it because it doesn't make sense. You should have more snaps than a guy that's been in the league and made the kind of plays that he's made. But I'll wait. I'll reserve judgment. Let's see how it all plays out.
So I got 2 quibbles here because it's kind of like last night I'm meeting late out of nowhere. I get a Sox Cub ticket thrown at me. And, I'm coming late because I was doing football night in Chicago. Shout out to those guys, people losing their jobs over there. And it's been a ton of fun working over there doing that stuff. But at any rate, I know I get in the car, and it looks like I'm going to get there at 7:30. So I could say to you that I'll be there in the second inning, but I don't know how long the game's going to go. So I said 7:30. And so when people say it should be the first quarter, no, it shouldn't be the first quarter. It should be the amount of reps that he's got.
Right.
So you don't know when that's going to be. What they did last week
have an 18-play first drive.
Right, which could be fine. Or maybe you want him to come up for a second drive, whatever. Or maybe it's 2 drives. I don't know. But what they did last week, Tyson Bagents is going to play the first quarter. The freaking guy got 1 series.
Yeah.
And it's not the same with Caleb, but like that doesn't make any sense. So like make it make sense, so that's just a little bit of a fluke quibble. And I'll throw one more.
I agree with you on that, though. Like, you just never know. It depends on how the flow of the game is, right? Like, you can say 1 quarter, you can say 15 snaps. You just don't know. How does this game feel? There will be a point in the game where it feels like, okay, that's either enough or it's like, that's not enough. You should probably get 1 more. It just depends on what it looks like.
Because they're saying on NFL Network, they're saying that it's going to be 15 snaps. Well, what if on the first 2 series they go 3 and out both times because there's false starts on first down and, it puts you behind the 8 ball? So you're going to come out for a 3rd series?
Yeah.
And hit the 15?
You just said a false start. Let me see you do it right.
Right.
Or if they come out and score 10 points in the first 2 drives, you don't send them back out there.
Exactly.
Well, and we went through that last year, right? The first preseason game for Fields, he throws a screen pass to DJ Moore. It goes 80 yards.
Yeah.
We all lose our mind because it was crazy.
It was.
That was awesome. That's a great way to start your career, DJ Moore. But, like, in terms of benefiting Justin Fields in the offense, it kind of hurt them, as cool as the play was, because what would have been better for them is a 12-play drive into the red zone, and even if they ended up kicking a field goal, they get more operation out of it and learning what they're going to do and more reps. And instead, you get a touchdown for 80 yards. Cool, but for the greater good, the bigger picture might have hurt them.
Yeah, memories where I was like, am I going to say that was a screen pass that had nothing to do with the quarterback and anger 80% of the chat? Or am I just going to celebrate it like everybody else was? And
that's what happened after the game. They were like, Justin Fields had -2 air yards,
right,
but he had a touchdown. So fans were like upset because, like, who cares about air yards? Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw it far, and they dink and dunk their way to 50 touchdowns a year.
And
we're not there yet.
I don't think Caleb's going down the field today. I'd be surprised personally.
I'd be pissed if he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll be pissed.
Take a shot. Why not? You got 3 potential number 1 receivers. Take a shot.
Agreed. And I'm going to be surprised if it happens. 49.99, the greatest from our leader, Crystal Simone. You're officially the leader. Hey, guys, I'm late at the Air and Water Show, enjoying the views and weather. Ready for the game,
Carm
boys.
hates the Aaron Waters Show, Crystal. Just so you know.
Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Herb, we are beefing.
What are we beefing for? I thought we was cool. I thought we worked this out. Why are we beefing?
Dang.
You said I was hiding from you. I would never hide from you. Why are we beefing?
Oh, I know why. Because when she was at camp, you didn't come say hi to her.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was there, and I also didn't see her.
You got to know. You got to know.
You're right.
Dropping
if you're a real friend, you're going to know that she was there.
I'm sorry, leader. It won't happen again.
Yep. Herb's got all this beef here at CHGO. I mean, we're bringing him into studio today when Hoag's not here, only continuing the conspiracy theory that you and Hoag still have this off-season beef from the leftover Civil War.
It's my favorite part of the winter. The epic beef with me and Hoag.
that was intense. Do you want me to do my
times we had?
Yeah.
We're finally here.
Yeah.
To move on with our lives, maybe.
Maybe
because then Fields, had his 5 of 6, yesterday. So.
I wake up in the morning and people are like, "Herb, Justin sucks." I was like, "What? What are you talking about, man?"
I know.
You played that as much down the middle as you possibly could. You were rooting for him. You had his back, and you were fair. So
yeah, whatever. I mean, I was on the record. What direction I wanted them to go. It wasn't my decision. It was Poe's decision. He made the decision. Let's go, Caleb.
Well, and speaking of Justin, we have time for that right now?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, okay. So Justin last night, getting the start. Russ has got a calf injury, 5 for 6, and he had 2 turnovers, fumbled snaps. And so Mike Tomlin was asked post-game how he did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the dude was 5 for 6, and the one incompletion that Justin had, he actually thought was a completion, that was inbounds. They ruled it out of bounds. But so here was Mike Tomlin giving his, answer to the question, how do you think Justin played? I thought this was noteworthy.
I thought he did some nice things, but obviously he was a component of the CQ exchange. And from my perspective, that's dual responsibility on the center and the quarterback. It negated a lot of good things going on in those first couple of drives. I think one definitively got stopped by it with the 2nd and 14. You get behind the chains, particularly at the early stages, before you gain real cohesion and have enough of a menu to get you out of them circumstances. You're a dead group. And so the CQ exchanges were an issue.
So he called it out.
Yes.
He was honest.
Yes.
He was real.
Yes.
He was a head coach.
That is who Mike Tomlin is. Just keep it a buck. We all saw the same thing. Like,
right.
Just come out here and say what it is. The standard is the standard. It keeps everybody accountable. We don't have to do this, back and forth little dance. Oh, it was this. It needs to be better, period. Center quarterback exchange wasn't what it needed to be. They fumbled it twice. Like, let's get it together.
Yeah, and by the way, this is not a knock on Justin. I think 5 for 6 first game with a couple fumble snaps. Like, that's a fine start for him.
And really, the only incompletion he had was actually a completion. they didn't get both. He
Right.
got both feet in bounds, but Tomlin didn't throw the challenge flag.
Right. So I think this helps him. I think this is good for Justin. And afterwards, he's like, I guess I'll put that on me. The center was like, it's 100% on me, which made me think for just a second. Now I am taking a little dig at Justin. That leadership thing. I'm not, put it on you, dude. You're a new guy in the room. It's a better play than saying. I
typically like to blame Carm for any failures we have here.
And you'll get support on that. So, and I'll give one more. This is more of a fun one, so don't get all bent out of shape. They asked him how his first experience with Pittsburgh was. Quote, "It was cool. I think our uniforms are really cool. I like the black and yellow, black and gold. So it was awesome to put the new threads on to get in a new stadium, get a new field." What are the Steelers' colors?
Black and yellow.
Black and yellow.
Okay, you're both wrong. You're fired and you're fired.
That's like red.
It's black and gold.
It's not what Wiz Khalifa said.
Yeah, it's black and yellow. Wiz Khalifa.
Well, Wiz says it.
This is law. That's what it is.
I take it back. You gotta know your colors are black and gold, Justin. I know. I guess maybe it's I don't know.
Most people would have said black and yellow. So.
Yeah, well, but okay. I mean, you're a Steeler now. You got to get that right. Hey, we'll get Nick on in a second here, but first, shout out to our friends at Circa Sportsbook. The best place to do your gambling is with Circa, where they do not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits. Unlike other books, they try to hit you down if you're losing. And by the way, if you are losing, you will have more money in your pocket. Well, on both sides, really, because they do the -110 split. It is the least juice you are going to pay to the books here. You do it at Circa, which they make it super friendly for you. All aspects of their app is being run on the same team that runs their main Circa Sportsbook. This is first class. The experience is fantastic. You want to do it. You want to download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app. Sign yourself up today. Be on the lookout for awesome Circa events, watch parties, tailgates. The 120 Club is rocking every other Friday at Wrigley Field. If you or someone you know has a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
That's right. And right now is as good a time as ever to become a CHGO diehard. Head over to allchgo.com/diehard to sign up. We've got some great events coming up. Obviously, our tickets for our tailgates are live on our website. If you go to allchgo.com/events, you can find those. If you're a diehard, you can get discounts on those events. Really excited for week one. I just saw Colin in the chat saying he'll be heading over to the one we're going to be having in London. But every home game, we're going to be there at the corner of Wabash and Cermak, so make sure you get there. We are also less than 2 weeks away from our CHGO Kickoff Classic, second annual at Cog Hill, August 23rd, presented by Circa Sports, Coors Light, Shady Rays, and Seltz Up. Sign up as an individual, twosome, or foursome. Packages includes 18 holes, a cart, tee gifts for every player, limited edition CHGO Pins and Aces golf polo available for purchase, giveaways and prizes for winning teams, and course contests, different things like closest to the pin that some good golfers may have won at the last one. Sponsorship opportunities are available if you're interested in sponsoring the event. allchgo.com/events to sign up once again. So a lot of different things coming up. Check all those things out. Become a diehard. You get access to Adam Hogue's newsletter that he puts out weekly. Mark Carman puts out different thoughts that you get access to.
Different thoughts.
You get come into our Discord channel. So a lot of different opportunities and you get a free shirt right at the gate. Like the shirt me and Carm decided to be twins today. Thank God for Herb to break us up, or we would look like
I have to go Cole
idiots.
Komet,
Yeah, you got the
Cole
Komet.
I have to go
swag
Cole Komet, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Nice. So you get a free
Knocks.
Hard Knocks swag, free shirt out the gate, discounts on all shirts going forward. Become a diehard. I always do the diehard read long because I want you to know all the things that you can get when you sign up.
I seen in the chat that Jaden Dale, he was out in Ballin, so I mean, obviously we're not watching it because we're here, but the Commanders are playing the Jets right now, and he is 2 for 3, 45 yards, and Marcus Mariota is on, so there you go, another guy getting a handful of snaps.
When did they start?
Well,
What the hell is this?
They
I wouldn't have done this pregame show had I known there was a game on.
Well, it's in the chat, so I mentioned it. Let's go out to Buffalo, where our guy is
taking pictures,
looking good. And I believe that's Larry Mayer in the background behind Nicholas Moreano. Nick, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I can confirm that is the Larry Mayer behind me.
Update on the offensive line? Anything out there, Nick? Because people are interested. I'm interested. Who's going to get to play today? What's that looking like?
Yeah, so they haven't actually officially lined up, but just based off of like how Caleb Williams is working with Coleman Shelton, I would expect it to be what we've seen the past few practices, where you have Braxton Jones at left tackle, Tevin Jenks at left guard, Coleman Shelton at center, right guard, Ryan Bates, and then your right tackle, Darnell Wright. So they're just kind of warming up right now, running some routes against just some of their defense right now. It looks like that's 30 or 21. Jalen Jones is back there opposite of Jalen Johnson. So that's what I believe the starting offensive line will look like for Caleb Williams in his debut.
Are we all expecting to see Velus Jones return kicks today as the starter, in essence?
That's what I expect.
I mean, they had him back there. They also had Herbert, Tyler Scott, but I would assume so, right? You guys, just based off of the new rule being the second time opportunity getting a chance, and Velus didn't have that opportunity in the first game, so I would assume that you'd see him. And also, speaking of special teams, like the whole Rome Odunze punt returner, I know we talked about in the last podcast, you guys, but I expect him to get some looks back there. He was out there getting reps with all the other guys that we've normally seen at the punt returner spot, but it would not be surprising at all to see Rome Odunze at least get a couple of opportunity, or an opportunity at the punt returner position.
Okay, cool. I hate that. Nick, Cameron Wolf's on NFL Network. That he's reporting that Caleb Williams will get roughly around 15 snaps, whether it's one really good drive or two drives if the first one doesn't go well. What are the sentiments you're hearing, being around the stadium and the team here the last few days and being there today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that number seems about right, but I'm also trying to factor in next week too. You have the joint practice, and then obviously the game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're looking at that 45 to 55 range. So, I'd maybe bump it up a little bit more. I know you say 15. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like 20, and you can almost split it in two with these two games that you're kind of preparing for in the preseason. So if it was a little bit higher than that 15 number, that's where I think I'm leaning towards, just because I think that's where you're going to see a majority of the snaps come for Caleb Williams in this preseason game today, and then also next week. And how does Matt Eberflus factor in the joint practice in terms of valuable snaps that he deems are, again, valuable, but also, I mean, I think that's how you got to look at it in terms of the number 45 to 55. I'm going to go with like 20.
Okay. Now, interesting, playing a little less of Moreano right here with Nick Moreano live from Buffalo. You're taking the over on 15 snaps for, Caleb Williams. So now I ask you, over under for how many runs that Velus Jones gets in this game. He's been getting a lot of action, at training camp. So I'll set the over under at, what do you think, 7 carries for Velus Jones? Is that a fair number, or should it be lower? Like all right, 5 carries over under for Velus Jones?
3.5.
I'd set it at 4.5.
Okay, fine. 4.5 it is.
4.5. We're moving the line. Vegas is moving the line. 4.5 over under.
Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm going to take the under on Velus Jones Jr. 4.5. He gets exactly 4, and I'm still getting used to the awesome graphic that our awesome producer Stephen Nicholas created there. So I'm going to go under on 4.5.
Okay, last one for me on Lesser Moreano.
Hold on.
Here.
Is anybody taking the over on 4.5?
It should be more. Why the hell not? You got all game.
I don't disagree, and I don't think it will be. I think he gets 2 carries.
I don't think he's in for enough series to get over 4.5.
Why wouldn't he be?
I think 4 is the number. That's why I was suggesting 4.5. Because I think he gets 4. 5 I'd be surprised. I'd like it if he gets 5. Listen, I've been waiting for this move to happen for a long time. Like, everybody's like, he sucks, he can't play football. I've never thought that's true. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. Just because he can't do what you're asking him to do doesn't mean he can't help the team. He doesn't run good routes. He doesn't track the ball extremely well. He doesn't have great hands. But when the ball is already in his hands, he's a dynamic playmaker. Just put it in his stomach and let him do what he does.
But that's why I think he needs more than 4. If you're going to make the team as a running back, you got to get the reps. Like Hogue said the other day, you're not just running the ball. There's so much you have to learn in terms of knowing what gap to run through, what blockers are behind you, which way, there's more than just running the football. Yeah, pass protection, audibles. There's a lot of things.
I love
terminology.
I love Nick being able to take photographs as we debate this, but I'll take the I'll take the Hogue spot in the argument here. He's not making the team as a running back. He's making the team as a kick returner. He's on the team. They just want to vary out what he does. Like people think that Vale's going to get cut. He's not getting cut.
Yeah, I know, but in terms of the depth chart, okay, he's making it as a kick returner, but you either make it as a wide receiver or a running back in terms of the roster. They don't have a roster spot for a kick returner. You're either a running back or a wide receiver.
They're going to use
right?
them both. They're going to use them at both.
Which means somebody else is going to get cut if you're keeping him, which is fine. You should. One more for you, Lesser Moreano. Tory Taylor punts. Over under 2.
I'm going over. Not to say that that's an indictment on the Bears' first team offense, but I expect to see Tory Taylor still play snaps even after the quote unquote stars are done. So going over. And speaking of punting, there is a good amount of wind going through the stadium right now, and this happened right when I got here, and you can still see the flag swirling on the field goal post here. So I want to see how that's going to impact the punt returners, Rome Odunze if he gets his opportunity, Tory Taylor when he eventually punts. So just maybe keep an eye on that as you're kind of watching this game and seeing what Caleb Williams and that first team offense can do.
Good tidbit there, Nick. Well done. Anything else that?
Well, I did have one more. Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert last week. It was Roshan to get the carries ahead of Khalil. Is that going to continue this week, or do you think it might get flipped?
That's a good question there, Greg. I wouldn't be surprised if they still did this, flip-flopping with both running backs, but obviously we'll see Swift in there first. He's suited up out here. So, if they're still going that route to figure out who they really want as RB2, it makes sense. Figure it out here in the preseason and kind of go with it. Real quick, you guys, before you guys let me go, I just want to give a quick shout out to the people that I met here on this trip. Met my guy Christian at the airport, gave me the recommendation to go to Duff's. So appreciate Christian. That was an awesome place to go. The wings were amazing. KJ, met him at the hotel I was staying at. Brent, met him in the stands. He's the one that didn't like Carm. He was kidding though. And then also met Tim. He was in the first row. Actually brought his daughter to the game, first Bears game. I had some trolleys there for Caleb Williams. Didn't get a chance to give him the gummy worms, but first Bears game, that was awesome to see. They're in a great spot. So just want to give a shout out to the people that I met along the way.
All these fans throwing gummy worms at Caleb now.
I'll start throwing them at Nick. He keep tweeting about it.
Hey Nick, how many wings? Anybody want to guess on over-under on Nick's wings?
Over-under on wings.
Over-under 8.5.
12 over-under.
Nick's kind of a pig. I'm going to go with 14.
Wow, appreciate that. I ordered just 10 initially, and I'm like, is this actually going to be enough? But they're meaty wings. Got a side of fries, 2 beers. So by the time it was all said and done, I'm like, 10 was the perfect number. Didn't feel overly fat and feel like I couldn't go anywhere. So yeah, 10 was the number. And I would kind of wish I got the 20, not going to lie. But great wings, the char barbecue, and something hot honey. There we go. Amazing. Got to go to Duff's if you come to Buffalo.
I think it was Minnesota last year, if I'm not mistaken, Nick. But me and Nick did like 20 wings. So we did them so wrong. It was just it was disrespectful what we did to them.
Nick, we had a question from the chat from Fidel Contreras. Why are you so handsome?
It's a question that, I get, a lot. I don't really know the answer. I got to give credit to my parents probably. So shout out to you, Mom and Dad. I appreciate it because I don't know. Don't have the best answer for you guys.
Okay.
You how do you do it? You spend 8 hours a day.
Did you see the Kevin Fishbane? Oh.
Wow. Fishman ready to rock and roll. All right. On that note,
Hey Nick, can you do me a favor? While you're there, can you just keep an eye on Caleb as he comes off the field during drafts, just like what he's doing on the sideline, what's the leadership, whether he's going straight to talk to coaches or he's talking to the players if he's up and down the sideline. I'm sure we'll get a little bit of that on the game feed. on the TV feed, but if you can just keep an eye on that, because we're going to talk to Nick after the game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you just keep a little bit of an eye on that and see what he's doing between drafts, I would love to know.
Herb, I'm assuming you said Caleb Williams because I just didn't hear the who you said in the beginning there.
Yeah, I said Caleb Williams.
Okay, cool. All right, I will keep an eye on
Keep
that.
an eye on him, Nick.
And Bajan. Thank you.
Not Bajan.
All right, Nick, we'll see you post-game.
All right, you guys. See ya.
All right, I got one more quibble that I just want to get out my chest here because I want to feel better about it.
Quibbling. You've been quibbling
I'm
a lot
quibbling
lately.
So we had
60 years.
Yeah.
Over under.
Yes. Over.
Lesser Moreano.
Sure. Why not? Okay. Everybody loved the first Hard Knocks,
Sure,
for the most part, and certainly the show that we did, we were celebrating it in the moment right after. So I've had a little bit more time to kind of digest, and Matt Eberflus said at the podium the other day when he was asked about it, credit to Ted Cruz, and, we've got a right to edit this stuff, and yada, yada. There was a fight at training camp that didn't make it on there, which would have been interesting to see, what people would have talked about if they did that. Instead, they went on a, Brett Rippon and Austin Reed dive, which I wasn't expecting and don't really care about, but okay, I get it. If you want to do storylines from camp, I suppose those are two interesting guys.
Wait, wasn't that one of your best for the Bragsies?
I think I'd give a best. I did give a best on it, but I still was surprised about
Okay,
it was interesting. I got caught up on the family and all that, but I also was just I was surprised that was the way they went. So I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth, which is not
two
the
things
first.
can be true.
Yeah. So, but here, they made the decision, and I also celebrated this too, which is another one here. They made the decision to call up Ray Clay and have him do the Caleb Williams, Michael Jordan intro.
The most iconic intro ever.
The greatest player to ever play anything.
Ray Clay also introduced Jason Caffey.
Correct, but that's an excellent point. And Dickie Simpkins, and I can name all of them for you.
Did he ever introduce Dickie Simpkins?
I think Dickie got at least one start.
I don't know.
I have to go to the tape. I'm pretty certain he did. They were struggling.
But still, it's a Jordan thing. It's a shout to the glory days of the greatest team and player in sports history, Chicago sports history.
I mean, and I get it, by the way. It is, you're not going to be able to put the toothpaste back in the bottle on the number one overall draft pick and the amount of hype that's around him. But do you really want to equate him and put that on him, the greatest player of all time, to your guy coming in and bringing Ray Clay to do that?
It's too late. Everybody was already saying he's got Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. In my mind, for me, both of those guys are on the Mount Rushmore of all-time NFL quarterbacks, both of them. Right?
Sure.
Ryan Poles said it. He said there's when I asked him at the combine, he said there's similarities there.
So if he's going to come out of college and we're going to put him, in comparison with two of the best four to ever play the position, then it's already done. He's coming into Chicago. We know what it would mean if he takes his team to the Super Bowl. He'll be the most iconic. It is what it is. He hasn't ducked that smoke. I asked him that early as soon as he got here. Why aren't you ducking this smoke? Because this Chicago and it can get pretty thick and heavy here. He's like, why duck it? So it is what it is, man. Michael Jordan, Patrick Mahomes, Jesus, let's roll.
Okay.
Too far? My bad.
No, it's fine. I don't want to look. There's Patrick Mahomes, there's Aaron Rodgers, and then there's Jordan. Literally looked at as the peak of all athletes.
Agreed.
That was unnecessary. I'm sorry. It was fun. I loved it in the moment. I was geeked out about it, but then I thought about it, if I'm him and I was saying can we not put me on the MJ level?
But you know what? At the end of the day, like you said, it's already happening. I mean, it
is what it is.
The way he throws the ball, the way it looks, and it's to me, when you have a special player or team come across this city, it's it when you see it, and they overcome all the expectations, pressure, hype. And you look at the 2016 Cubs, or you look at the 2005 White Sox, you look at the Blackhawks when they went on their run. when teams in this city have finally decided to buck up and win a damn championship, they ain't worried about any of it. They laugh at it. And, the Cubs in their 108-year curse, they didn't care, and they got all the way to Game 7 with some of the most trials and tribulations you could have in a moment. And they still were able to have that mentality to overcome the pressure. And if Caleb Williams is going to be the guy to finally break the quarterback curse here in Chicago, then it's going to be with all that hype, expectation, and everything, and he's just going to laugh at it.
Chicago is going Chicago. Chicago going Chicago.
And if it isn't, it isn't, and we're all going to get let down.
It's going to be the Mike comparisons. Slight flex I hung out with Mike last weekend at the Hall of Fame after party for Dwight.
But that's where
had a good time.
And that's where Dan Wiederer was tweeting. Wiederer tweeted yesterday or the day before, I don't think Bears Twitter is ready for the roller coaster for Caleb Williams, and I said the only thing that Chicago isn't ready for is a good quarterback because we've never had one. Other than that, we are ready for every scenario that's been thrown at us in terms of having one good year or not living up to the hype. We've had it all. So, at this point, the only thing we're not ready for is this team and this player to actually work out.
Let's lean into it.
$20 super chat from Guy Finley. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Leozzi?
Yeah, Leozzi. That's a philosopher.
My guy, Leozzi. Today is that day, guys. After months of debate and diatribes, I'd never do it anywhere else than with our CHGO family. Thanks, guys. Fight on and bear down.
Let's go.
Yeah. And look, he's been wanting to play. He's getting to play. I hope he gets to play a bunch. But I don't. Yeah,
I hope he has like a 6-play first drive touchdown.
Yeah, that's what
I want.
And
then Eberflus is trying to pull him off, and he's like, "No, you're giving me my 15 reps. I'm going out there for more."
Wait, but can we just rewind back 1 second here? Did you just say you were at a party with Jordan and Freeney?
Yeah, me, Mike, Freeney, Peyton Manning, DJ D Nice. We all just kicking.
Are you being real?
I'm very serious.
You were in the
Dwight
room.
Freeney's after party after the Hall of Fame ceremony last weekend. I went to Devon's, I went to Julius Peppers, and I went to Dwight's. And at Dwight's, Jordan was there, Peyton Manning was there, DJ D Nice was DJing, everybody was there. We was all just vibing. It was cool.
Did you talk to Mike?
A little bit.
You did?
Yeah, but Jeff is a friend of mine. Jeff Jordan is his oldest son is a friend of mine. So that's
you're friends with Jeffrey Jordan?
Yeah, it wasn't the first time I've seen Mike.
Okay, but what type of friend? Herb, are we friends?
Yeah, we're friends.
You can't.
Jordan ain't your daddy, but yeah, we friends.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that you're buddies with Jeffrey. I mean,
it doesn't. If it came up, it just came up. So I told you, I don't walk around like it doesn't. It's not that deep. It's my homie.
But all I do is talk Jordan. Like that's like I've asked you Jordan. I've asked you 8,000 Jordan questions. We've been down this road.
Yeah, his little brother Mark is not so much my homie. He be doing wild stuff like he was this past week.
Right.
We'll talk about something else.
Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that. Jeffrey was a little more.
Yeah, man, just have some fun on vacation.
Yeah, in private, my boy. Go like.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll pay attention to Caleb for the first couple of steps, and maybe even Tyson. But after that, once Austin Reed's out there, we're talking Jeffrey Jordan on and then so that might hurt the post game show. Yeah. All right. Shout out to her, by the way. I want to on our last thing here because I pulled a clip of him asking Tevin Jenkins a question. You rarely hear an athlete talk about how they'll play harder for money. But Herb got it out of Tevin this week. So can we wrap that up with this? Herb Howard to Tevin Jenkins. Hey, man, you're always hurt. You think you might be less hurt this year because your money's on the line? Listen to this.
Basically.
Does a contract year, like, you heal up a little faster? Do you push through a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say it goes both ways. I mean, as a pro as itself, you want to push yourself past those little things, but as that extra motivation in that contract year, there's little things and bumps and bruises that you do want to keep pushing past more than you would give it more attention as opposed to like the second year or something.
Tevin literally said the other day, like, listen, I always try to keep it real with you guys when I'm talking about myself. I'm not going to talk about other guys on the team because people were pushing him on Nate Davis. He literally kept it real there. Yes, I am going to be healthier sooner because right now I need to get paid.
Listen, I prefaced it by telling him, like, Tevin, listen, I don't mean for this to be as facetious as it's going to sound, but does this contract year expedite the healing process or not? And he's like, Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does. I mean, listen, it could be the difference of like $50 million for him. He could be looking at 3 years, $30 million, or he could be looking at 4 years, 75, $80 million. Like it's a huge year for him. We all think that when he's on the field and healthy, he is a dominant guard, one of the best in the league. He just can't stay on the field enough. So if he can run together, 15 games this year, I'm sure he wants to play 17. But if he can play 15, 16 games this year, he's probably going to get a very, very healthy contract. It is imperative for him, generationally speaking, that he stays on the field.
Maybe even at the halfway point of the season.
Seriously.
If he can make it there.
If he can play the first 8-9 games, it'd probably behoove Ryan Poles to go ahead and get that done instead of waiting for another. Because if he runs off the whole 17, that price is going to keep going up each week.
Because I know we got to get to Super Chats, but to your point, when Tevin Jenkins got healthy last year and showed up around week 4 or 5, all of a sudden they started creating some good pockets, clean pockets for the quarterback to throw. So I know we don't have a Hall of Famers going across that offensive line, but if these guys can stay healthy, specifically Tevin Jenkins, they are able to create pockets, at least last year, for Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent. So you got to think you run it back with these guys this year, that they should be able to do the same for Caleb Williams. Obviously, notwithstanding a few mistakes here and there.
4 minutes to kick off. Let's run through the supers that we missed here. Appreciate everybody jumping in today.
Got 4 $1 super chats from Inner Orbit Pinball, and then he followed up with a $2 super chat. He said, "So excited to see the starters today."
As are we, Inner Orbit Pinball. We are definitely excited.
He's throwing dollars out there like he's at the strip club.
Hey, make it rain on us.
Don't
shake something, Carm.
Don't. Yeah. I'm in. Don't take a bathroom break in the first quarter here, Inner Orbit. If you got to do something, you got 3 minutes. They ain't going to be out there that long. KR Shy Sports, $1.99. Just ordered some grub. TB23 diet starts now. Bear down.
It's the Taco Bell diet that I just unlisted last night. Just take that TB12 diet. We got the TB23.
Ghost Moser comes through with $10. Appreciate you. Interested to see Tyreek in year 2. He got attacked a lot last year and finished strong. I think he's an X factor this year. Jalen will be great. Hopefully Tyreek takes another step. Definitely took a big step last year. Should take another big step this year. Don't think he is playing today. He's been out for 3 or 4 days now.
But he is a baller.
And Kyler's been missing, and
Jaquan's been out. So like 60% of the secondary's been out. I don't think any of those guys will be starting today.
Of course, but that's why but the Bears are going up against a top 5 defense. That's why the offense
Bryce
has been struggling.
Luca, $5 super chat. Who are you most excited to see on defense today? For me, it's Dexter. All signs pointing to him being a beast this year. Yes, we're certainly hoping seeing him. What he's done at practice translates against another team here today.
$50, Chevy Wellington. We appreciate you. Poles cleared cap space by trading vets and not re-signing Roquan. Moves most GMs would have made, but nearly 2 years later with top cap space, it's unacceptable. The O-line is still a question. People get too defensive about Poles. Criticism is crucial for Caleb. Chevy, you've been riding this train.
Talk a little more about it on the post game.
Yeah,
too.
and we'll
nothing wrong with a little accountability. I think he's still net positive.
Yeah, Greg Baggs Jr. Gregory, my friend, I heard that Carm's still old. Bear down.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
It's never going to change. It's only going to get worse for him.
Thank you, Bags. $19.99 again from Crystal. Yes, Herb. It's because of training camp. Herb's the only one I haven't seen. He's been hiding. LL joke. It's all love. Herb. Everyone come out to tailgate.
Love you too, Crystal. We'll get this thing right. We'll get this thing right.
Herb will come to the tailgate, and he'll meet up with you there, Crystal.
Get this thing right. William Lopez, $19.99. Greatly appreciate you. With Caleb getting so much coverage, being the number 1 overall pick, I feel like Rome isn't getting enough hype for being drafted in the top 10 as well. We are in good hands having a superstar in the making. Listen, usually you draft a top 10 receiver, you expect him to come in and be a number 1 receiver. You need him to be. He walks into a situation where they don't need him to be. He's going to reap the benefits.
Think about the hype Kevin White had. Rome Odunze, probably,
kind of ease in under the radar.
And he gets to be under the radar.
Yes.
And he's calling Caleb Williams a gremlin, which you'll see on Tuesday night.
And lastly, from Cade Helton, $4.99 in 10 years, when we have 2 Super Bowls, that'll be the hardest video in Bears history.
Yeah,
Let's go.
The Jordan intro.
Let's go.
Okay. I hope so. Hey, right up on it here. So go enjoy the game.
45 seconds to kick off. Let's go.
How about that pregame show? We don't need you, Hogue.
Yes, we do.
We're 40 seconds to kick off. Enjoy. We'll see you at 3. Come back for postgame. Thanks to everyone
Let's
for
go,
being.
Caleb.
Appreciate you in the chat. We'll see you at 3.
We all silly like the mayor.